Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to look into a subject which is quite important. We can see it all around us, this social control. What are they doing to our women? It's quite an important subject, really. I think it affects us all. You know, I'm all for the equal rights of men and women in our society. That's not what this is about. This is about a concerted effort to mind control and program people in our society to behave and act in a certain way towards the agenda of the secret societies. So we're going to look at this commercial today. This is called Kenzo World. This is the company. This means brute force. Look at the company. Look at the symbolism of this company. You see this? The eye of Horus everywhere, the all-seeing eye. It's pretty obvious. You'll see that the commercial opens in a very posh, conservative, strict, elite setting. So here we've got that same reference as we looked at recently. They're not showing the elite actually in a good light. They're showing that we need to be liberated from the elite. So this is the capitalist dredge that we need to get rid of. She's wearing a green dress, which is used as a colour for rebirth. And she comes out of it, she's just not happy. It's a bit like Rose in Titanic, you know. She wants to be free from that rich world. So she just kind of has a think what to do, and then she'll go into a state of frenzy and rebellion. But of course, in this commercial, we're meant to root for her because we kind of feel her pain, right? We want this new revolution to take place in her life. There's a few things this is really representing. Number one, the most obvious, is the liberation from the elite, which we're seeing in society. We're seeing a lot of people thinking, well, you know, if we can break out and be liberated from, you know, the elite's control over this world. So we've got that grassroots rebellion being shown again. Donald Trump represented that and many other things. But this is like a grassroots. She's wearing the colour green, which we've noticed like a communist revolution. And also, secondly, this is representing the female being liberated from the prison of life. You know, she's gaining control and she's escaping from that oppression. And then thirdly, which we're going to look into a bit more, this represents Jezebel, right? And Jezebel represents false religion. So here we're introducing the idea that the false religion of Jezebel, which is breaking out of conservative Christianity. So we've got this New Age Gaia liberation through Luciferianism. So she's breaking out of that. She's coming out through the corridors in the Hall of Mirrors. There's a lot of symbolism in this video. Here we see her begin to overthrow the patriarchy. She approaches this gentleman, uses some physical violence, flexes her muscles. She's overtaking the patriarchal system. So we enter into a scene here, and in the backdrop you can see that this is actually a grove. This is a sacred grove, just like the Bible talked about, that these sacred groves were related to goddess worship. All through history, in the pagan religions. So you can see this lady, which is representing that goddess Diana. She stands in between the two pillars, look, which is a very, you see that a lot with the goddess Diana, the moon goddess. You see her placed in between the two pillars. So this is like the birthing and the gate, IXXI. And all of that right in a sacred grove. So this is what, this is like a manifestation of the false goddess of the pagan religions, which is shown quite clearly here. And you see how it's all about losing control. It's about ascending, just like a drug trip, a higher level of consciousness. Then we see her come into the stage, look, center stage, self-indulgence. It's Luciferian propaganda, guys, Kabbalistic. So here we go. You see, look, she's actually showing some references to her old way there. She goes into a ballet, sort of a dainty reference. It's so sad, because this is what it's all about, breaking up marriages. This is all about breaking out of that traditional box. You see her running through the pillars here, the trees all appearing as two pillars on the side of her. And then we get the ultimate ascension right here. The all-seeing eye, the Kabbalistic eye of Horus. So this is like her rebirth. She's going through this, made of flowers, I think. So this is like her rebirth through the eye, like the enlightenment. So she represents that false religion. Jezebel, well, we'll take a look at a Bible passage in a second, but this is this whore of Babylon, prostitute, the false religion. This is what it represents. So there she goes through the eye. Look at that. Unbelievable, isn't it? And that's what it's all come from. It's come from the beginning, which was in this conservative setting. Everything is about good behavior and morality and rules and order. And then she enters into this chaos. Through here, she goes into chaos and completely breaks out of the mold, disrespects authority, overpowers the patriarchy. So this is about the overturning of society in this communist revolution. Appears as Diana between two pillars in a sacred grove. Goes through center stage, along this walkway through the pillars, and ascending through the Kabbalistic eye. Self-ascension, Hinduism, the false religion, Antichrist. And so, as this last section here, you'll see then we see a combination with the beast, the animalistic. She's beating her chest like a gorilla. So you can see this is not really about liberation, is it? This is not really anything good. This is not evolving, this is devolving. All that was once good and proper is being overturned by some tacky counterfeit, which is, just awful. And it's Antichrist. It's overturning biblical things. It's, overturning marriage. It's overturning the truth. anything that's good and right. This is turning everything upside down. And that's pretty obvious. And so, beware of this agenda. Beware of this. Ladies, beware of this. Men, beware of this. And look at that right on the end, the fragrance in a seashell. That looks a bit like a seashell, which is another symbol they use for the female. And look in there, the pearl inside, like a pearl of wisdom. That's the, the fragrance. And it's all an eye. Kenzo World, the new fragrance. So green, the colour of new growth, the return to Eden. So let's take a look at that for a second. She represents the whore, the adulterous woman, Proverbs 7. Look at this very quickly. This explains it. Warning against the adulterous woman. My son, keep my words and store up my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablets of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and to insight, you are my relative. They will keep you from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words. What we just watched there was the wayward woman, okay? That's what it's showing you. She's disorderly, she's rebellious, she's wayward, she's, all of the above, okay? So that is what this is. This is the, and with this, it doesn't just mean a physical prostitute or a physical adulterer, although that is the plain meaning. It also means false religion. The false religion is considered adultery. For a Christian to take on the false religion would be adulterous. So this is like the whore of Babylon, the mystery religions, the New Age. That is an adulterous woman, the Jezebel. So it's false doctrine. And so this is what this is all, this is all underlying. This is speaking about. Take a look at this passage yourself. But have a look here. Look. With persuasive words, she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, till an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to what I say. Do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. So that's a warning, to take in wisdom and keep his word in our heart, because if not, if we don't stay on the right path, in the truth, in spirit and in truth, then we are liable to be seduced by the adulterous woman, by Jezebel.